Hey, this is David. Welcome back to Dadding. Wanted to talk to you about the fact that flexibility kills dadding. Flexibility is an enemy to dadding. Now, I don't mean some flexibility. I mean the guy that thinks he is totally flexible, never has a schedule, never has a plan. In the long run, that's going to kill his dadding. It's not about yoga. I'm not talking about how if you can touch your toes or not, Dad. That may be a great thing. But what I'm talking about is your approach to life. I've told you that a rigid routine, a mindless routine will kill your dadding. But now I want you to think about the other end of the spectrum. The guy who has no habits, the guy who has no plans, who never is predictable. And what he is actually, ironically, very predictable. If you look at the course of his life, he's going to do the things that are comfortable for him. He's going to do the things that come naturally. He's going to do the things he's always done. He's not going to grow. He's not going to change. He's not going to improve. Because habits help us in our weakness to move to strength. Schedule and discipline, making a plan, sticking to the plan, making commitments and sticking to those, setting goals and reaching them through planning actually creates strength and growth. A dad who says, oh man, I just live in the moment. Well, sometimes that can be effective, but you know what also? It can create a guy who never leads anywhere. He just lives by his feelings. He's really a slave to how good the weather is, and, you know, if he feels like he's had a good enough day at the work to be intentional to play with his kids. Nobody drifts into excellence. Nobody accidentally is the best dad they can be. You need to make plans. You need to think carefully about where you can grow and what matters most. And so you need flexibility in doses. Don't be overcome by a mindless routine or an overly rigid routine, but also don't give in to this idea that you have to be completely spontaneous. Discipline, setting goals, making plans, controlling your feelings and emotions for the purpose of what matters most is going to help you be the best dad you can be. A simple illustration is a budget. If you talk to somebody about their spending and they say, oh, you know, I don't have a budget. I just really kind of am spontaneous with my money and I spend it on what I want. You can ask them actually over the long haul how that pans out. And unless they're some kind of random, independently wealthy person, they probably are living pretty tight with their money. They probably find themselves in a lot of financial jams because they haven't brought in the base level discipline that provides a jumping point for creativity. All of a sudden, they didn't really think about it, but they lost a couple bucks here, they lost a couple bucks here, and now every month things are really tight. The same is true about your dadding. If you don't think about it, you'll waste an evening here, you'll lose an opportunity there. You'll never get around to doing that thing that you think is so important. But if you stop and you plan, you have the opportunity to then take advantage of what matters most and also provide room, margin in your life where you can also read and react and respond. You can be flexible, but in doses. You don't want to be a body without a skeleton. You need that skeleton structure that comes from carefully thinking about your life and what matters most and making plans to invest in the people who matter most. Overly flexible lives, okay, they are not going to be effective lives. And dads who are overly flexible are going to be not as effective as the dad who says, I'm going to tighten up my flexibility a little bit so that I can make sure that I do what matters most. Flexibility kills dadding if we take it too far. We need to be flexible. We need to have some margin in our schedule, but we need to make sure that we've got the habits that commit us to what matters most and who matters most.